Hi, everybody. This is Phyllis Whitley. Welcome to Whisper Unplug. Today, we are going to go over self help. What if I told you that your health isn't just physical, but a reflection of your mind? Let's go ahead and unplug and shift this all today. We also have a guest that's going to be having a conversation with me. So let's go. Hi, Patty. This is Patty
Hi.
from Virginia.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Miss P.
How you doing? Of course, everybody call me Miss P. We are going to go ahead and get into the conversation of self-help. As you know, my podcast deal with the relationship with yourself. Although my whole thing is about body, mind, and soul, body, mind, and spirit. And it's for other relationships, relationship with money, relationships with your loved one, relationship with your family. What I'm trying to say is we deal with self mastery, or should I say, I deal with self mastery. So today, what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and give you some truth. One of the things is I don't know if a lot of people know, but I want to just refresh your memory or give you something you probably never heard before. Your thought creates your reality. Yes, it does. And we're going to let Patty chime in there, but first I'm going to throw out some diamonds for you. Your health isn't a diet trend. When you hear self health, people think, okay, are you on the latest fad diet or what are you doing? The operation. We are not talking about none of that. We are talking about the mind. The mind. We're talking about your body, mind, and spirit or soul must align together. For instance, in my counseling sessions with females, it might be even a male, but with females, they may come to me and say, I'm just having a major problems. And I'm like, what's wrong? It could be like, oh, I've just, I got headaches. It can be something like they at work and they sitting at their desk and they just don't feel good. Seriously, your heart be hurting. Behind that, I can say 90% of the time, it's a man. Now I know y'all gonna say, oh, Miss P, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you. If you having problems in your relationship, your marriage, it express itself, or should I say it manifests itself. So what I mean by that is the self-help is dealing with every part of you. Your mind get affected. That can be your headache. Your body get affected. That's your bodies of affairs. The things around you. Especially when you're young, you have puppy love. You don't want to do nothing. You don't want to get out of bed. You just want to hear that person's voice. So do you see how everything connect? And also in your spirit. Your spirit may be lowly. When you have an argument, you notice you go to work and hell break loose. It may be in your house. Basically, we are going to expose the truth about it. We just gave you some nuggets right then and there. And I'm going to start off with one of the main key things that you need to look at your consciousness. And when you hear that word, that goes with mindset, okay? Shapes your body. I know you don't want to hear that. It literally shapes your body. Remember, I said your body of affairs.
Yes.
What do you think about that, Patty?
When you talk about the mind really shapes your body and what's going on with you internally, I can agree with that because I feel that what's going on inside of you eventually is going to come out on the outside. So whatever your thoughts are, and that's what you mentioned in the beginning, your thoughts. So yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I know you've been there and done that because you came, let's be transparent without going deep into it. You came from years ago, abusive marriage. Looking back, did that have anything? Did you notice a shift in the way you carried yourself or how you act at your job? Did you have an attitude? Because some of the females out here may say to me, I do not believe that when I have problems as a man, because you know what they say? Right now, I don't have anybody, but you might not have anybody, but you might be lonely. And loneliness can show itself, express itself, manifest itself. You may be putting your head down. You may look, when you see couples walking, you may be sucking your teeth. You may get jealous. You may be envious. So you can have the man that's giving you a headache, or you can not have a man that the loneliness coming because you say, wait a minute, it's been 5 years, it's been 10 years, it's been, and I don't have anybody. So you walk around with your head down. You stop carrying yourself in a appealing way because you're like, nobody looking at me. I think y'all got it. I think y'all got it. I think they got it, hopefully. Did you want to say something about that, Patty?
Yeah, so I think when you in an environment, in your environment, whether your environment is good or your environment is bad, it will show on you on the outside because your emotions in the inside is going to come. You mentioned one thing about walking down with your head down because you could be feeling lonely. Your relationship could be stressful. So therefore, you're going to always or walk around with your head down. You're going to be looking away from people when you're walking. You don't want anyone to look at you because it's like a shameful look that you're going to walk around with. And if you're in a good relationship, then you're going to walk around with smiles. You're going to be happy. So yeah, your relationship is going to shape how you carry yourself in the world.
I mean, I think that's true because when you I remember working at God, I don't even know what to say. I was working at a bank and I remember I was in a relationship. I just started a relationship and I went to work and I mean I was all smiles and I just was so happy. And what happened is I was so happy and I went to work and my boss said, "My goodness, you must be in a relationship." I said, "Why would you say that?" He said, "Only a man can make a woman smile like that." So it is true. It is true. Now, I have seen married females come to work and they look like they was miserable.
Yeah.
And you can tell it was hell was standing at their door. Matter of fact, hell came in and had dinner.
Yeah.
It really, really did. So that's something that I hope everybody who's listening can understand. Unless you are one of those people who don't wear your feelings on your shoulders. And I feel like men can, I didn't say men first because men are kind of good at it. When they having problems, they get in front of their guys and stuff, and their boys. They don't bring that to the table. But your girlfriends, like Sex on the City, you come and you literally, hey, let me tell you what's going on. And you know what's going on.
Yeah.
So all of that was the conscious. So basically, you can say your body is going to perform a certain way in a sense. You got your self-esteem level go down, your head go down. And actually, I was researching too, and it was saying that your cells in your body is dominated by your thoughts and emotion. You ever seen that person that you turn around and boom, it's always crying?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you turn around, they may cry. With that being said, some people can't hide it and they bring it to work. They bring it to work, and some people got fired. I've seen, oh boy, I ain't even gonna go in there. We also had, and I don't think a lot of people realize that if this is saying that your cells respond to your emotions and your thoughts, that may have something to do with your health. I know years ago I was so sick and I had quartz. I won't say quartz. So let me change that around. I'm a cancer conqueror. And I'm not saying that happy people don't get cancer because I am not here to diagnose anyone. I am not a doctor, let that be said. But I am a holistic practitioner and a counselor. So I study a lot of holistic stuff, the alternative medicine. And I don't want to say medicine because I don't believe in medicine unless you absolutely need to. And I found out that if your cells are responding to your thoughts and your emotion, what happened when you spend your life in anger and regret? And I knew that time when I did get sick, I was an angry person. So just put it together and ask yourself, even when you come out of a illness, are you walking around in regret mode? Like, why me? It's so many answers. It's so many questions. I'm not gonna go into that. The next one I have is broken whispers create disease. Everybody know me that I'm the lady who deal with whispers. When I say whispers, if you don't know me by now, is really what's the hidden inner talk that you literally say to yourself. Like you walk around, I'm no good. Your spouse could have said to you, you overweight. You spend the whole day saying, oh, I'm fat. Oh, I'm this. Everything is totally affected. And that's what we're here for. To let you know that self health is not a diet, sweetie. It's deep. Now, for the broken whispers, it says to create disease. You have any questions about that?
So Yeah, I do have a question. Can you give an example of what you mean by broken whispers create diseases?
Well, broken whisper, like I said, your inner speech, those things that you was told as a child, you never be anybody, somebody who got molested. And it's just a record going in their head. It will cause fear, stress, and doubt manifest sickness. So y'all know when y'all if you know I don't want to go back in time when you had that puppy love and y'all broke up, you was in the bed sick. You remember that?
Yes.
And even as an adult, we get sick, don't we? People don't know that. Care how old you are, you get love hurts. It can hurt. Or should I
Yeah.
say rejection? So
Yeah.
yes. Now tell me something, Patty. I also have here unplug and reprogram your mind. In order to do that, because you have actually been mentored by me. When I say you have to unplug everything, do you have any particular memories of something I told you to unplug or unclutter?
Yes, I think we did quite a bit. One of the things we had to go back in to reprogram or unplug, like things that you go through during your childhood. So that was kind of one thing that we touched on. You know, we had to go back and discuss that and then bring it to the future, how we related it to the future and how it affects today. So yeah, we had to kind of
Yes.
go back and rechange
That was purging.
purging.
I
Yeah.
have glad you brought that up. And purging was literally, it's just like the tree. You purged if I'm saying that, I'm sorry, prune. When you prune the tree of all the weeds, the old weeds, that's just like your mind. You cannot put, and I say this all the time, it's in the Bible, you cannot put wine glass in a old wine,
New wine.
yeah, new wine and old wine. It's just basically I had demonstrated. I must demonstrate it no more. But if this bottle is filled up and you try to pull something in there, it's going to spill and it's going to be mixed in. So all the negativity, all the things that's going on in your mind. What are we talking about? Self health. We're not talking about a diet. I know some of y'all came in here and say, "Wait, I want to know what's the latest diet. I want to look like Miss P. She is plump but she's a vegetarian. Oh, y'all want to know what I go out there and eat? Listen, it's a mind thing. I just came from vacation and it was a mind thing. I did not want to take vacation. Of course, shout out to my Bessie Cynthia White. It was her birthday. I made myself go, not only because I wanted to be there, but it was a situation where the weather was bad. I said, you know what? I got to get out this house and I got to go and reach out to people who celebrate me.
Absolutely.
Who celebrate me. And I said, well, they gonna celebrate me. And we had a ball. But you know what that was? That was self-care. And that's a whole nother story. But do you understand your stress, your fear? And if you don't believe me, think about that uncle that's mean or always stressing out about what's going on with the latest news. I guarantee you to go to her house the next day, she's gonna say, oh my goodness, my joints are messed up. I guarantee you she might turn around, headache. Aunt so and so always get a headache. Or she might be in the hospital because her blood pressure went up. All of that is related holistically. Now, I always talk about, here go ones talking about unplug and reprogram your mind. You want to speak healing. It's like, how do you do it? I know y'all said, how do you do it, Miss P?
Yeah.
I believe in affirmation, visualization. I mean, my mind. I'm hungry. Y'all know that right now. When I start talking like this, visualization. What's some of the things that you know that you have incorporate from even me being your mentor, where you had to reprogram your mind, Patty?
Main things that I think about is relationships. I had to reprogram my mind when it comes to relationships because when you're in a bad relationship, you're going to bring baggage into that next relationship unless you heal yourself. Unless you can understand who you are and then move forward. But you reprogram my mind. So therefore I can manifest a healthy relationship.
Right. And I think was she saying like I did, and I gave her the tools. I gave
Right.
her the tools because at one point You didn't think a relationship, really a real relationship exists, did you?
Absolutely, I didn't.
She really, really didn't. She thought I was crazy. And that's, you know, what happens is when you've been abused verbally or physically for so long, you can't see anything.
Right.
It's just like someone giving you, and I don't want to compare it, but somebody giving you McDonald's. You can't believe that you can go to somebody's house and get the best hamburger. Yeah, and I say it, you know, because I'm not speaking light of any kind of abuse, but I'm just letting you know it's just that simple. You've been verbally abused. We all been verbally abused. That's the whispers I always talk about. Somebody talk. I listen. I know people talked about me growing up, and I know siblings, family. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you know they whispered about you, you heard them, or somebody came and told you. You know, they said you would never get a job as a doctor. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
We're talking about self-health. That's what we're talking about. We are talking about self-health. And the main thing I'm trying to tell y'all, your health start within. Now we covered everything and we are in the last two things that I wanted to bring to your attention. You can master self-healing through imagination. Isn't that something, Patty?
Yeah.
You can literally do that because I want you to think about this. No one can give you health. I can't come to you and say, here go health. I know the doctors and all of them, the medical community, they come and they give you your medication, your prescription, and nothing against those who have to have it. But I want you to know it's a whole nother alternative. That alternative is holistic health. You can help out your doctor. I try to help my doctor out because I go get my blood work twice a year or so. And my doctor may say, you know what? This is a little high. And I'm going to tell you, I'm a vegetarian, but I remember I went and I move everywhere I move. I try their chicken and I'll come off it. I mean, you know, I'm not saying you can't eat chicken, but I was eating chicken like you ain't never seen. I mean, I went to that place and that place and that place, especially if I go to a city, no, they can throw down. Don't let me go to Savannah. Don't let me go to Georgia, whatever. And I did it, and my daughter kept saying, "Don't you think you need to slow down?" I said, "No." Then we got this chicken, and then we went and got the Asian chicken. Then we got the curry chicken, and they were bringing it. Oh, I'm not even gonna go there. I am not saying chicken is poisonous. I'm trying to tell you what happened. You know what happened to me?
No what?
I went to get my blood work. Everything was out of whack. I said, "What the?"
Yeah.
Because I'm holistic, I do know how to stop and say, what did I stop? What did I eat? What am I allergic to? So I helped my doctor out. And I said to the doctor, I'll be back. I came back, what, 3 months later? I mean, she said, no, I want you back in 3 months. I'm going to do your blood work again. And you know what I did? It's a higher conscious. Not that I sit back and say, no, I didn't do all of that. You know what a higher conscious is, Patty? I started thinking differently. Started realizing my body didn't. I realized I liked chicken, but my body didn't like it.
Right. Right.
That one, I have people will tell you I love. I remember when I was years ago, one of my friends said, I was young. She was allergic to crabs, and she just kept eating. And she said, "I don't care, I don't care." And she sat up there eating the crabs, and we would have a big pot of crabs, and tears would come out of her eye. I didn't understand it. Then I got older and I was working in a cubicle and this other girl was eating. No, she didn't. She wasn't eating seafood. Her eyes were swollen or whatever. And I said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "Girl, I went to the crab place yesterday and I had me some crabs and crab legs." And she said, "And it's just my allergies acting up." See, you may like crab, chicken, whatever, but
Mhm.
maybe it don't
Mhm.
like you. You know what I'm saying, Patty? That's why I put body, mind, and soul. You see how I come together? It might not like you. You know what I'm trying to say? Because I remember you was trying to go to Djibouti, Africa, and you had a problem with your numbers.
Mhm.
And then you came to me and I said, and she got consultation on that. Yes, I help people with their holistic body, mind, and soul. I can't help you with anything that's medical. But I said to her, "What are you eating?" And then I said, "Well, what are you eating that you really wasn't?" Matter of fact, you was already over there. Let's go to that one. And you said certain things is happening to my body. And then I said, "What have you been eating?" Or I was listening to her conversation. And she said, "You know, I got over here and I started eating this. I haven't done it in a long time." I said, "Leave it alone. We won't tell you what it is."
Mhm.
And she stopped doing that. And I kid you not. She came back and said, "No, I haven't had that problem." People don't want to, you understand what I'm saying? Patty, you know this.
Right.
They say I want to be healthy, but a lot of them deep down inside don't want to go ahead and give up what they might have to give up.
Right.
And I'm not saying that you got to walk around and be a vegetarian or a vegan. I'm not a vegan, but I am saying everything is connected. If everything is connected, you got to look. Like me with the higher conscious, my mindset wasn't so much, it was up there. My mindset went to a point of saying, let me go back and see what it is that I'm doing that is aggravating me, that's causing me to itch, that's causing me to
Huh?
have allergies. You have to have a certain mindset to go and do that. And yes, I went back to the doctors and they said everything went down. No, if I want to go eat chicken tomorrow, I can do it. You have to. You know what I'm saying, Patty? I mean, what do you, in your mind, what do you think about the consciousness of, what do you think about that?
So, can you really think yourself into better health? Can you really think?
Yeah, well, before we get there, I wanted to say, what do you think about when I was talking about, like, first of all, mastering your healing through imagination?
Mhm.
This is where visualization do come in. And I do apologize because I said I was talking about affirmation and stuff like that. But visualization comes in. This is what people do their vision board, treasure maps, and stuff like that, affirmations, because you have to see it up here. Some people don't need to see it. That's why they'll say it till they feel it. That's why they said feeling is a secret. But that's all in the Bible before it even exists. That's in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? Because God tell you, fear not. He always say, fear not. He's trying to tell you something. It's a reason you shouldn't fear. And before we get to that question, the last one is your promised land of radiant health. When I speak about getting your promised land today, and Patty might know this, your promised land is not all about money, but it is about abundance, and it's about abundance in health. That's why I said, and I wanted to come back and tell you again because I mixed it all up. Your health can't be given to you. Your health is going to come through here. When my doctor told me that I was in this position, my numbers, you have to be the one to fix you. And if a lot of y'all fix you, then the doctor don't have to give you a whole bunch of medication. Why do you just go and let them do it? They do it because that is what they're trained for. But nobody knows you better than you because your doctor's not at home with you. Your doctor was not at home with you when you had pork chop for breakfast, pork chop for lunch. And listen, and Patty, and my mother used to be walking around and she couldn't walk. I can't walk. And I said, did you have pork that week? Don't leave me alone. We're not gonna go. Do y'all see what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? It's so much that you have to do with your mind to even know that this is a situation. I might like food that's allergic to me, but maybe the food don't like you.
Correct.
Right. And for those of you who say, well, where's that in the Bible? Everything is in the Bible. Everything is in the Bible. I have a scripture here, Proverbs 23:7. Y'all go get it. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That was my whole thing. I don't have to say anything else, Patty. As a man thinking in his heart, so is he. What is that telling? What do you think about that? That's deep.
Yes, whatever you think, you become. Be careful about your thoughts. It's just whatever you think you become. That's what comes to my mind.
It's true. Patty is absolutely right. And that nobody don't real that was like one of my favorite scriptures when I really got deep into the Lord and the Bible. That scripture is probably my one of my best ones because it says, as a man thinking in his heart, so is he. So you will be. I don't care how many times you go to the altar.
Hmm.
I don't care how many times you roll over. I don't care how many times you get up and say, the devil. Let me tell you, the devil is busy. No, the devil is not busy. You're busy. You're busy in your mind feeding yourself the wrong mental
Yeah.
food. That's why I said this is all within. Now, normally I ask questions, but I know Patty is here today in person to ask me. And she did have a question. And I want to go ahead and answer that question, but I want you to also know with that Bible, I also have a beautiful quote from Neville Goddard. Stop believing in illness and it will cease to exist for you. People don't believe that. When you focus on being sick, When I was in treatment and we were sitting there for hours, I mean hours, getting that stuff poison in us, I was thinking about what I was going to do when I got out of there because I already did holistic. I just graduated. I already knew about health. I already studied it. But you know what I did? When I was sitting there helpless and I couldn't do nothing and everything was in the doctor's hand, I sat there and said, you know, when I get out of this, honey, I'm going to do what I need to do for health. Because people say, I don't want to exercise because it hurts. I don't want to go ahead and walk a long distance because my feet hurt. I want to park right in front of Walmart because my legs hurt. But when you get any of those illness, especially cancer, and you sitting there, you can't use your limbs, some of them go out, that hurts. And
Yeah.
I decided that day, exercise or maybe trying to eat some good stuff that's for your body is less painful than sitting there and being fed a drug into your veins. And a lot of people don't realize that. I said something I have said it to my daughter before. I see people say, "Oh, that don't taste good." You know, criticize all of the vegetarian food, the drinks. Oh, that's nasty. But when you get medication, you don't tell the doctor it's nasty. You just go take it. You have to take it. You understand where I'm coming from? It's sad. It's sad. What's that question you had for me?
I was thinking, can you really think yourself into good health? Because I noticed you talk about using your mind and how in your health, your mind, body, and soul.
Well, you know what? You definitely can because your mind, body, and soul is connected. And you need to think it. I believe Napoleon Hill said if you can conceive it, you can receive it. And hopefully that wasn't backwards. But basically, that's just like if you're sick, it is people out there that feel like I'm gonna die. And I have known people who said that they feel like they was gonna die before a certain age, and they did. I remember years ago, this mechanic, he thought it was kind of like, I don't know, was he thought it was funny or something. One of his mechanics' wife kept saying she was sick. And he said they took her everywhere. And the doctor said, I can't find nothing wrong with you.
Right.
And they went to every doctor and she just kept saying, no, I don't believe them. I'm sick. Something is wrong. And they took her, I don't know exactly, but he said it had to be the 10th doctor and it was out the state. And the doctors said they couldn't find nothing wrong with her.
Wow.
She died months later. And they said that they didn't even know what it was, natural causes. So what I'm saying is, I do believe that what you put in your mind, if you put trash in your mind, trash is going to manifest outside your body. And I don't think people know that. And I'm not talking about physical. Even though I went on a conversation about eating food, how about what you feed your mind?
Right.
Are you at the news? As soon as the news come out, I know the news because I'm in the public eyes. And the way they have social media, as soon as you get on there, you have to see something. If I look at it, I'm going to look at it, just see what's going on in the world. But
Right.
then majority of the times I say, okay, I know enough because I want to know about what's out there, but then that's it. Some days I don't even look because I'm going to hear it through the grapevine. And that's it. And that's all I do. You know what I'm saying, Patty? That's all I do. But you have to train yourself for wellness. You have to study. Study thyself to show thyself approved, God said. Studying health, people study junk.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're saying if a person's been sick for years, or maybe they should change the way that they think, or just think about the thoughts that they're thinking about every day, and
I think if you've been sick for years and you want to change, you're gonna have to do a shift in your mindset. This has nothing to do with what the doctors give you. But I think that you can help the doctors by changing your whole mindset. Get consultation, get counseling, get a coach, get someone to help you remove all of those toxic whispers. Maybe you were told you would never be nobody. Y'all say, well, Miss P, I just don't see how that's connected. Of course it's connected. Somebody had to tell you something bad in your life. Your
right.
boss might have told you, you might ask for a raise and they say you ain't worth that. What is it that is bothering you in your life? It could have been a teacher. It could have been the fact that maybe your parents gave you up for adoption and you walked through life feeling that you were never good enough. So when you got a man, you ran and you just put yourself down to the mercy because you wanted to make sure that this person loved you. It could be you was rejected, as your father left and he didn't come back and you feel that as soon as a man try to say no, you say, no, 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 you're going to love me. You're going to love me. What's that song? You're going to love Jennifer Holiday, me. You know what I'm saying? So you literally basically what I'm saying is a lot of stuff is behind that. It's all within yourself, and it's going to go ahead and manifest. So I want to say thank you so much because we have to go. I just want you to just make sure you're not a victim of illness. I want to make sure that you are healing for your birthright. Your birthrights from God is living abundantly. Even as your soul prosper, God wants your health to prosper. Remember that your consciousness shape your well-being. I want to thank Patty until next time for being a part of this. Did you have any last words you wanted to say about did you get anything out of this today?
Yes, what I do realize though, just by listening to you talk, a lot of things, like you say, start in your mind. The way a man thinking, and so is he. So, and I think that goes with a lot of things that pertains to not only your health, but just your everyday living, your neighborhoods, your education, your life. Just look at your environment and see what you have going on around you. And let's just change the way you think. I mean, even though it's around you, you don't have to associate with, you don't have to bring it into your life.
You don't have to bring, basically, she's saying in short, you have a choice. You choose this day. Is it going to be life or death? And that's in the Bible. I bet y'all don't believe that. That's in the Bible. I'm telling you. Choose life, she said. And remember next time. Until then, unplug, transform, manifest your promised land today. And remember, is loving self is right. You don't want to be wrong. What if the story you are sitting on is the breakthrough someone waiting for? Are you an influencer or an entrepreneur sitting on a powerful story? Hi, my name is Phyllis Whitley. Call me Coach P, the founder of Self Whisper and Whispervise. I help people like you publish their story 30 days or less. Stop leaving money on the table. Your knowledge is powerful and it could be your next paycheck. Join the Publish Your Purpose Challenge using the link below. And please subscribe now. I appreciate you.